الكريم أما بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد كان في يوسف وإخوته آيات للسائلين إذ قالوا ليوسف وأخوه أحب إلى أبينا منا ونحن عصبة إن أبانا لفي ضلال مبين. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala continues the incident of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that most definitely there is in the life of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his brothers, there are great signs for those people who are asking. Who are the people who are asking? Some ulama say that the actual people who had asked were the Jews, and they had asked the mushrikeen, the polytheists, that you must ask Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, that how did the people, the Bani Israel, how did Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his family all end up in Egypt? Whereas originally they were from Canaan. So the Jews had actually asked, and the mushrikeen asked Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam directly, but it was through them. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there are many signs for the Jews who are asking, that is, they are asking, they want to know about Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. It's a clear proof of the nabuwat of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam is a Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How is he mentioning this incident with such great clarity, precision? Every point he's mentioning, that in the whole half a para, Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam is mentioned in the Surah of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. And also for the mushrikeen, there was great lesson for them. It is like how Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, his brothers had taken Yusuf alayhi salam out of his house. They put him in difficulty and problems. But remember, finally that difficulty led to the izzat and the honor of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. So remember, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam, you're going to cause trouble to him. You're going to try and take him out of his house, make life difficult for him. Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam will have to go and undergo all of these difficulties. But outwardly it is parashani, it's difficulty. But this difficulty eventually will become a means of Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam's great honor and izzat. And just like how these people are forced to ask Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam for forgiveness eventually, or people of Makkah Mukarramah, the Meccans, they also will be forced to ask Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam for forgiveness. And it's exactly what happened in the conquest of Makkah Mukarramah. So indeed there were great signs for the people, and ulama sa'ilin can also refer to us who have got this desire within ourselves, who would like to find out, who ask questions. There are great signs for a person who thinks and ponders. And you will find in the incident of Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, remember the time when they said, the brothers said, so altogether there were 12 brothers altogether. It means Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his 11 brothers. Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam, he had one wife, he had 6 children from her, then he had 2 slave girls, and he had another 4 children. So altogether there were 10 children. And from his final, his last, another wife of his, Rahil, Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and Binyamin were born. So they were from like another wife. So these 10 brothers, they were elder, and they had a bit of jealousy for Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam, especially because Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam had certain qualities, beautiful qualities, and automatically the heart of Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam went out to it. There is no mention anywhere that Yaqub alayhi salam was unfair and dealt unjustly with any of the sons. But automatically in your heart, sometimes you have more love for one child over another child. So the brothers must have perceived it and realized it. That is why also it's important for parents to be very careful. It must not lead to any such action which outwardly can lead to a problem for the other children. The jealousy comes, and it shows these are the growing up in the house of the Nabi of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But they also, jealousy comes into a person. This is a natural quality. And ulama say that sometimes excessive love for somebody leads to great imtihans for a person. For example, Adam alayhi salatu wasalam had a lot of love for his son Habil. So then his other son Qabil tried to kill him. Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam's father had a lot of love for him. So the brothers also tried to kill him, or they eventually they threw him down a well. So in today's time also, we don't make apparent your love for somebody. If somebody is making apparent his love for you, rather stop him. They say except for the husband and wife, they must make apparent their love to one another. There's no problem, because no matter how much of love a person makes apparent to his family, his wife, this will be less. That is, the Sharia has given permission. Actually, Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, khairukum li ahli. The best of you is the one who is best to his family members. So express your love to your wife is no problem at all. And higher than this, a person must express his love rather to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and have the love for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is beloved to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So anyhow, this was an examination. So they said Yusuf alayhi salam and his brother, La Yusuf wa akhu. They didn't mention the brother's name. His name was Binyamin. But it showed the main object of their jealousy was Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam. That's why they're saying, La Yusuf wa akhu. They are more beloved to our father than us. Wa nahnu uzbah. Whereas we are a huge jamaat, we are a big jamaat. Usbah is a jamaat of people who have got a certain purpose, like a certain objective in life. They want to do something. So we are a big Jamaat, we can do so much. They are younger, they are smaller, they can't do so much of khidmat like us. We can't understand why does our father love Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam and his brother more than us. Inna abana lafi dhalalim mubin. Verily our father is in an open error. Normally the word dalal in the Arabic language or in Urdu, they say dalal, a person is misguided. So here it doesn't have the meaning of misguided. Here it got the meaning of error. Our father has made a ijtihadi error, a mistake he has made, that he loves them. We can't understand what is the reason. And this exactly like how Iblis, when he was jealous over Adam alayhi salatu wasalam, then what Iblis said, that I can't understand, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, how come you've given Adam alayhi salam preference over me? I'm made of fire and he is made of sand. And sand is nothing compared to fire. So you're supposed to have given me a higher rank and status than Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. So here also the brothers couldn't understand. Sometimes it's a lack of our intellect. And the ulama say that the reason why Yaqub alayhi salam loved Yusuf alayhi salam more was because of his sifat and qualities, the deeni qualities which a person has got. And al-hub fillah is actually part of our deen. You love somebody for the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And especially after seeing the dream, the yaqeen and conviction of Yaqub alayhi salam has increased. Definitely my son has got certain great qualities, so I must love him more. That is why Yaqub alayhi salatu wasalam loved Yusuf alayhi salatu wasalam more. But as I mentioned, that outwardly also a person must be very careful. As the ulama say, amongst all our children, a person, once he gave one slave to one of his sons, and then he went to Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam and he wanted Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam to testify, I've given a slave to my one son. So Nabi sallallahu alayhi wasallam asked him, have you given a slave to all of your sons? So he said, oh Nabi of Allah, I haven't, I've only given it to him. The Nabi said, go, if you want to make somebody testify, go and make somebody else testify. I will never testify to this injustice. And then he told him, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be fair regarding your children. And then in one hadith it comes, some narration it comes, the Nabi alayhi salam asked him, don't you want all your children must show love to you also equally? They also must show kindness to you. They must be good to you. So why are you showing unfairness? And you're giving preference to one child over the other child. So when it comes to worldly things, outward things, so much so when it comes to giving our sons and daughters, the ulama say, must be given equally. In inheritance, when a person passes away, then a daughter gets half of what the son gets. But while we are living, that's a command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The daughter won't have enmity over her father, why he gave me less, whatever. But while they're living, even if our daughter is married, whatever, and we are giving our children a gift, then give all of them equally. This is the command of Shariat. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us to understand. Subhanallah wa bihamdi. Subhanakallah.